I met Lori at a wedding in Sioux City. And it's one of those memories that you'll never forget. When I first saw her and she saw me, I think we knew something would come out of that. It was kind of a neat day that I met her and we talked right away, and I'll still never forget her smile that first day I met her. We were married 27 years, and we had a lot of good times during those years. We had our ups and downs as far as the family goes, but it was a great 27 years. We had a lot of good things that we were looking forward to do, but unfortunately that wasn't in his plan. Yeah, she was struggling the summer of 2013. She had some issues that she couldn't quite figure out. So we went into the hospital and she got an MRI, and they would not let us leave, so we knew something was up. Sent us to her family doctor that day here in Morningside, and that's when they told us, it was July 15th, 2013, I'll never forget about it, that she had massive tumors in her head. And I'll never forget, before we left, she said, "We need to pray here in the parking lot," and we did that. Her first 12 months recovery was good, her radiation was good. She had a great 12 months, and I'm glad the Lord gave us that, because she really had a lot of good times with her family and her friends. God really gave us a lot of calmness throughout the whole situation, until the last day probably, but He really gave us a good peace and direction, and of course He carried that through her. She was the one that was in control the whole time and knew what she wanted to do, and she would tell us, but she really taught us how to treat other people throughout the situation. It's been a big change afterwards. Of course, you're a little bit foggy for a while immediately afterwards, because you have all these people at your house and coming in your home. Pastor Jeff and BJ and yourself all just helping us and being around, and then all of a sudden it's quiet. A lot of other people have gone back to their normal lives, and it's still hard to believe it happened, but it's a big adjustment to now do it on your own. And when you don't have your best friend and your partner to talk about things, on a daily basis, and to do your Bible studies, it's really hard to get yourself going again and doing it on your own. There's very sad days. There's not that many great days yet, even though it's only been a little over 6 months. In dealing with it today, Jeff's messages and a good support group that I have a really good close group of friends that Lori and I have. They just help us throughout the weeks and the months ahead. They're there, they send little texts, they still invite me and my kids out to eat, and those are just important things. Without that support group and a good local church, I don't know how somebody could get through it. I haven't had much anger through the situation. I suppose a few times I've had that, but it doesn't last very long, because I know that she's not in pain anymore, and I'm really happy for her. What hasn't been helpful, when people just come up to you and say that you don't know really well, and I know they have good intentions, is, "How are you doing?" Those are difficult questions, and we talked about that in Grief Share a little bit. When people just come up to say, "And how are you doing?" What is more helpful is what is more helpful when people say, "Here's what I'm going to do for you today," or "We're going to go out and eat tomorrow night, so can you join us?" Those kind of things are more helpful. Or when somebody just comes to you and say, "Hey, I've been praying for you." As a guy, it's hard to talk about things sometimes. We grieve differently than women, I think. But I think what's helped me the most is talking about it with other people. While you're going through it, you just have to trust that He has a plan, and whatever that may be, you have to go with it, because we aren't in control. Whatever He decides the outcome is going to be, and you have to be willing to put your trust in Him no matter what the outcome may be.